Hey everyone, Dan here. We are during the trading day in the afternoon on Monday, March 15th. Wanted to take a look at a few tickers that might be presenting some possibilities and talk through what they look like. Before we get started, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And feel free to comment below as well. I think putting ideas or questions in the comments definitely helps everyone who watches after you. So let's get right to it. So Airbnb has been in this nice channel for several days and is holding sort of like mid-top area of the channel right over here. What I'd be looking for, I think there's a couple of possible scenarios. One would be, if we start to exit the channel and break downward, I would be looking for a couple of buy zones. So obviously I have a support level here at 198 and another one at 191. That to me on the bullish side would be kind of like my cut loss area. That if it drops below 191, I actually think it has further to go, and I'll explain why. So if it comes down further than 191, I think potentially what it was doing when it broke the channel was coming down to fill this gap. Because remember, when a gap presents itself, it needs to be filled from the bottom up and from the top down to be completely filled. So right now this is only a half-filled gap. So if Airbnb has a tendency to fill its gaps, then that is what may be happening there. And that may be, you would see that as it approaches this 191, it'll finish filling that gap. But if it does fill that gap, then it may also be coming down to fill this gap, which is completely exposed, which could, to me, look something like coming down. Once it's through this blue box, it has completely filled it, and then it needs to reverse and fill it from the bottom up as well. So that's why I think, to me, this green box is a really enticing potential buy zone. Say 183 to say 180. And this also lines up with this 181 support zone in the middle. This, to me, should be really strong support because there's several levels back here as well that line up with that price. So that's what I'd be looking for on the dip side of things, if you're able to snatch up a buy there. On the bullish side of things, if it does continue up through this channel, I'd look for it to continue to have support here at 208.33, and then some resistance at 214, establish that as support, and then basically my short-term bullish price target would be this purple box, which is about the high 220s down to 218. And basically that just signifies it getting to that 219.14 support, and either bouncing off of it as resistance or establishing above it as support. That's what that purple box indicates. So those would be my targets for Airbnb, depending on how it reacts as it stays in or exits the channel. DraftKings, which I still see the ticker symbol, and sometimes I almost say Donkey Kong. But we had previously done a short analysis on this before. At that time we said, this hadn't happened yet. We were drawing in this flag, and we said, it's going to flag out, and it's going to make a big move one way or the other. My hope at that time, because I wasn't in DraftKings yet, was that it was going to break down and get into this green box, which would signify coming down to fill this gap, and would give a great buy opportunity around high 50s to 60. It didn't do that, obviously. It continued up here, but now it has this sort of like immediate support that I've drawn in at 68, 69, and now I've sort of shifted my sort of ideal buy zone down to this green box, which would just indicate it falling through this support and picking up the next level of support at that 63, 61. And as we see, this is the 1 hour chart. It did pump up a little bit today, but it's sort of like on a bit of a downward trend here, and it's had a lot of topping out here. We can actually extend this. I had drawn in this box when we did the analysis last time to say like, hey, be careful in this area because it's had a hard time breaching this box before, and it has continued to do so as recently as today. So being that it's potentially going to come down and test this 68.69 again, I wouldn't be surprised if it falls through that level because it's gone to the well so many times now that there may not be as much buying pressure there left, and that may give us the opportunity for it to come down for a buy in the low 60s. So that's what I'm looking for on DraftKings. And somebody had asked me to look at Discovery, DISCA. I don't know much about it, but I will tell you how the chart looks to me. 1 hour chart basically looks like this. It's currently in this channel, which it's been in since February 23rd. That's a good sort of time frame to be in a channel. Because again, channels give us like predictable price action. We can expect it to go to the top and then drop to the bottom and then go back to the top and come back to the bottom. Eventually it breaks the channel, obviously, which will then indicate sort of a consolidation period and then often a large move up or down. So this is where I see it right now. You know, for me, I wouldn't be looking to enter a trade at this point because it's toward the top of the channel already. And what I would really be looking for to do is come down into this green box, which would put it in the bottom or lower half at least of the channel to give a good entry point there. I do think another possibility is, there's this area here where I think there's very strong support at 64.94, indicated by all of these previous bottoms that were previously these tops. And so I would also be pretty keen on a buy in this green box between, say, 65 and 66 because if it comes out of its channel and turns downward, I think that may be where it ends up. So that's where I'd be looking on DISCA. On the bullish side, it's basically like look for it to hold that channel. This is just zooming out to the daily chart, but this will put it into the 80s, before the end of the month. So see if it'll hold the channel or not. But it's been a good run for anyone who caught it. Congrats. Yes, it's like triple the price of what it was down here. So this is in like November and December of 2020. All right, folks. Well, if you're in any of these plays, good luck. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I wish you the best as we get into the trading week. I'll see you in the next video.